Thank you, President Dye. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, John McElligott. John is a real champion of innovation and an expert on related topics such as artificial intelligence, robotics, and disruptive technologies. John is the CEO of York Exponential, CEO of the Fortress Academy, and president of the Fortress Initiative. And you might remember last week's Rotary speaker was Madrice Tomes, CEO of Device Events, and who was the winner of the $100,000 Rise of the Rest pitch competition presented by AOL co-founder Steve Case. John McElligott was instrumental in bringing Steve Case and Rise of the Rest to York on October 10th this past year, and orchestrating an incredibly impressive event and community-wide innovation presentation to Steve Case and others that day. And any of you who were able to attend that, it was truly phenomenal and an event that I think we'll never forget, that brought so many segments of the community together. John was very instrumental and had a major hand in coordinating and orchestrating all of that. John McElligott is originally from Springfield, Massachusetts. His focus in college was criminal justice. During 9/11, he served as a combat engineer in the United States Marine Corps.
Hoorah! Sorry, I forgot this was on.
John now resides in the Avenues in York City and describes himself as a serial entrepreneur, and he was one of the founders of Rural Square Development and Construction in York. I've known John for a few years, and I consider him really one of York's leading visionaries and experts on technologies for businesses and manufacturing. And what I really like about John is his passion, his persistence, and his determination to bring York into the latest industrial revolution. Perhaps kicking and screaming, perhaps taking more risks than we are typically comfortable with. But to tell us more about a York Plan 2.0, including the Fortress, York Exponential, and the York Innovation District, please welcome John McElligott.
I'm going to dive right in because I have a lot of stuff to cover today in a very short period of time. The advancements in artificial intelligence and robotics over the last 24 months have truly been incredible. I'm going to talk about some of those today, but for many of us in this room, this is going to be something of a Matrix moment. If you guys remember in the scene in the Matrix where Neo had to decide, do you take the red or the blue pill? And one pill was, I'm going to just act like everything's okay. I know that things are changing, but I'm going to put my head in the sand and keep going. And the other side is he took the pill and it opened his mind up completely. That's what's going to happen hopefully at the end of this presentation, because the thing that I'm going to cover today and the challenge I'm going to leave you with, there will be no middle ground. When everybody leaves this room, you have made a decision to either put your head in the sand and not worry about the change that's coming, or face it head on. We're at the beginning of what experts are calling the second machine age. And you might hear it called a bunch of different things. Fourth Industrial Revolution. I'll cover some of that. The first machine age was powered by the steam engine, refined by James Watson in the 1700s. It fundamentally changed what it meant to be a human being. Now the second machine age of the fourth industrial revolution is very different. And it's here right now. And it's powered by artificial intelligence, robotics, and the Internet of Things. So what do I mean by this? Well, the fourth industrial revolution is simple if you break it down into its main components. The first being Industry 4.0. So really what this means is we've demanded so much from our cell phones, the prices of sensors have dropped to next to nothing, device power's gone through the roof, and thanks to the cloud, all of these devices can be interconnected and talk to each other. So they're actually learning from each other in real time. So thanks to the Internet of Things and robotics, robots are getting a lot smarter, a lot faster too. Just like these guys here, this is Shipley, one of our collaborative robots. And later on you'll get a chance to see it moving around, and actually the students of the month have volunteered to come and let me teach them how to program the robots in front of you guys in real time. Artificial intelligence has been basically in the news every day, and for good reason. Because things that we thought were decades away or impossible are actually happening on a daily basis. And those kinds of advancements, merging with technology like this, are creating whole new industries. They're going to create whole new challenges for communities just like ours. Who here is familiar with the term the Internet of Things? All right, cool. So a few of you. For those of you that aren't, I want to walk you through a quick scenario. Before you go to bed, you set your alarm on your phone. Your phone wakes you up in the morning, you turn the alarm off. Your phone lets your coffee maker know you're about ready to leave. So start brewing your coffee. You go downstairs, you brush your teeth. You put your toothbrush down, your toothbrush lets your car know you're about ready to leave. So it turns itself on, drives to the front of the house, you get in it, it drives you to work. That technology is here right now. Like, it exists. This is not far off future. This is happening. So you're going to start hearing this term, the Internet of Things, a lot more. But pay attention to it, because the Internet of Things is really wrong. It really should be the Internet of Everything, because that's what we're about to enter. Artificial intelligence has been in the news, and some of this stuff is mind-blowing. But I'm going to point to one very specific example, just to show you guys how fast this is happening. So this is the game of Go. The game of Go is an ancient Chinese game, and it's played with white and black stones. And if you were to take the number of all of the atoms in the universe and add a trillion, trillion, trillion to that number, you still would not have the potential outcomes of a game of Go. So it was thought that this was something artificial intelligence was never going to be able to do, because we'd never have a computer powerful enough. Well, in 2016, a subsidiary of Google called DeepMind took on the world champion and beat him. Now, this is significant, because AlphaGo was not created to play Go. AlphaGo was created to learn. So what it did was it watched thousands of games on YouTube of human beings playing against each other, and then it played hundreds of thousands of games against itself. And it went on to beat the world champion. Right? But Google wasn't done there, because the next thing they did was they took what they learned from AlphaGo, and they used AlphaGo and a team of researchers combined to create AlphaGo Master, which was a new version of the algorithm that went to beat 60 of the world champions, and then beat the Chinese champion in China. That had repercussions. But they weren't done there, because 8 weeks ago, they took AlphaGo and AlphaGo Master, and they let them loose. And they basically had the programs create a child. So with no human interaction, AlphaGo and AlphaGo Master created AlphaGo Zero. No research involved, nobody explaining the game, and within 3 days, AlphaGo Zero beat AlphaGo, the first version. In 21 days, it beat AlphaGo Master. And every single day, it's getting better and better and better. We have now hit a point where artificial intelligence is writing better artificial intelligence than the programmers that programmed the first version. Ever-improving and self-improving artificial intelligence. We're here right now. Like, this is not the future. This happened 8 weeks ago. Dominic? Now, this kind of technology on its own is kind of cool and neat, but when you add it to this technology, things start to get crazy. What you're seeing right here is a collaborative robot. This is what our company does. These robots are different than the big industrial robots we've had for a very, very long time. Those robots are expensive. They're hard to program. They have to be kept in cages because they're dangerous. These robots are easy to program. The prices are dropping. And we're teaching kids right now how to computer program. In fact, not just kids how to do this, all over the world. 8 weeks ago, we were asked to teach the Vice President of the United States how to do it. So he came, he saw, we taught him how to teach this robot how to slam dunk a basketball. And he took that back because the other person that was with him was the Secretary of Labor. Now, I'm going to start getting into some really crazy stuff next, and then I'm going to leave you guys with a challenge. But before I do that, I'm going to ask for a little bit of audience participation. What you're about to see here is Jibo. Now, Jibo is the world's first social robot. But I want to drive something into your head, because whenever I say robot, whenever I say artificial intelligence, it's really easy to think about the movies, right? We either think about what we've seen in the movies, or we think this is really, really far away. How many people here have a smartphone? All right, so I'm going to ask for some audience participation. I want you to take your smartphone, I want you to hold it up, and I want you to repeat after me. I'll wait till everyone's ready. Everybody ready? You ready? All right, cool. This phone is not a phone. I want you to turn it on its side. This phone is a platform. All right, you can put your hands down, otherwise we're going to do this all day. I've been stuck in the loop, and it's horrible. I keep saying, stop, you don't have to, and they go, stop, you don't have to, and it goes on forever. This phone is a platform that disruptive technologies have been built upon. 10 years. It's only been around 10 years. That have been shaking industries that are centuries old to their core. You see, there's no possible way that the taxi driver that was holding this device up to their ear 10 years ago could have ever thought it would put them out of work. Anybody taking an Uber? Right, so when you watch this video, don't think robots. Right, when I talk about artificial intelligence, don't think artificial intelligence, don't think Internet of Things. Think back to the first time you saw the iPhone and how much you underestimated the impact it was going to have on the world. Just think platform. Think platform that industries and businesses are going to be built upon, that are going to rock established industries to the core, but can also provide more jobs than you could ever imagine. And I'm going to level with you. If York keeps going the direction it's going, and we don't face these challenges head on, these robots, they're the iPhone. And York, Pennsylvania, and every one of us in this room, we're the taxi drivers. So we're going to watch this video, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more.
This is your house. This is your car. This is your toothbrush. These are your things. But these are the things that matter. And somewhere in between is this guy. Introducing Jibo, the world's first family robot. Say hi, Jibo.
Hi, Jibo.
Jibo helps everyone out throughout their day. He's the world's best cameraman. By intelligently tracking the action around him, he can independently take video and photos, so that you can put down your camera and be a part of the scene.
Jibo, take the picture.
He's a hands-free helper. You can talk to him, and he'll talk to you back, so you don't have to skip a beat.
Excuse me, Anne?
Yes, Jibo.
Melissa just sent a reminder that she's picking you up in half an hour to go grocery shopping.
Thanks, Jibo.
He's an entertainer and educator. Through interactive applications, Jibo can teach.
Let me in, or else I'll... And I'll... And I'll blow your house in.
Hey, where'd you go? There you are.
He's the closest thing to a real-life teleportation device. He can turn and look at whoever you want with a simple tap of your finger.
Check out my turkey dinner, Mom.
I wish you wouldn't eat that.
Hey, they make turkey pizza? I want turkey pizza.
And he's a platform, so his skills keep expanding. He'll be able to connect to your home.
Welcome home, Eric.
Hey, buddy. Can you order some takeout for me?
Sure thing. Chinese, as usual?
You know me so well.
And even be a great wingman.
You have a voice message from Ashley. Want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Hey, call me when you're home.
Better make that takeout for two, Jibo.
We've dreamt of it for years, and now he's finally here. And he's not just an aluminum shell, nor is he just a 3-axis motor system. He's not even just a connected device. He's one of the family.
Good night, Jibo.
Jibo, this little bot of mine.
So whenever I share this video, I get one of two responses. People think it's really, really awesome, or really, really creepy. Right? But this is really, really happening. They started shipping Jibos last month, and they're the price of a first-generation iPad. If York keeps going the way that it's going, and ignoring the coming change in technology, according to a report released by Gartner, within a decade, 1/3 of our population will be unemployable. Not unemployed, unemployable. The advancements in technology are happening so quickly that our businesses, our education institutions, and our city and our county can't keep up. If we keep going the direction we're going, we will be left behind with no chance of catching up. Now, whenever I say this, sometimes I get kickback. Because we forget, for the longest time, human beings have lived almost the same way, tens of thousands of years. And people say there's no possible way it can happen this fast. Someone else will figure it out. Someone will slow it down. How many people here have programmed a collaborative robot before? Anybody seen the Jibo video? Okay. Show of hands, how many people have seen this? Because if you think technology was moving fast in the hands of millennials, wait till you see our kids. Because they're here and they're here right now. Quick show of hands, who has kids? Quick show of hands, who was a kid? All right, good, so I've got everybody. I'm gonna walk you through a quick scenario. Your toddler comes up and asks, why is the sky blue? Why do cows moo? And eventually you say, because, or ask your mother, or ask your father, right? Flip it on its head. Surrey, why is the sky blue? Jibo, what are stars made of? And they're there for your child every time. This generation is building a different relationship with technology, unlike anything before, and they're going to take this and they're going to run with it so fast. But I'm incredibly excited, and I'll tell you why. Not just because the tech is cool, but there's a reason I've stayed in York these last 15 years. Because the last time the world changed this much, this fast, it was not Washington, D.C., and it wasn't San Francisco. It was York, Pennsylvania, that stepped up and saved the world. See, the spring of 1940, when most of the nation wanted nothing to do with World War II, everybody's saying it's not our problem, we're protected by 2 oceans, the Nazis aren't here, we're not going to worry about it. The leaders in New York said, no, maybe we don't want this change, but it's coming, and we need to get the community ready. So 4 families were nominated from within the manufacturing community. And after 6 months, with the buy-in and involvement of the whole community, they came up with what would later be called the York Plan. And if you look at it, it's a 15-point outline, but it's everything the tech world's been doing for the last 10 years. Crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, people were upskilled on a weekly basis. Makerspaces started popping up in people's backyards. Everything that the West Coast thinks it invented and was new came out of York, Pennsylvania 75 years ago. When war was declared, the president didn't know what to do. So he sent out a request for a plan. Guess what plan won? The York Plan, because it was the only one already in motion. So it spread across the whole of the United States under the slogan, do what you can with what you have. And it became a national model. National model. York came up with a plan, saw the future coming, ran to meet it, inspired a nation, and saved the world. That's not me overstating this. This actually happened. This is a fact. We're facing some big problems. Some of you may know that right now, York, PA, employs 20% more people in advanced manufacturing than any other state or any other county in the state. We have an incredibly robust manufacturing sector. There's something else happening. It's called a silver tsunami, and it's coming soon. Basically means a whole generation of workers are retiring with certain skill sets, doing certain jobs, with no one to take their place. The reality is millennials don't want to do those jobs. And those kids growing up with the artificial intelligence, they're not going to do those jobs either. So what's one of our largest strengths right now? Within 5 years will become our largest weakness. Halfway around the world, something else is happening. From that show of hands, many of us haven't had this conversation yet. You know who has? China. Remember when I told you AlphaGo Master beat one of the world champions? Guess where it happened? China. And do you know what they did? They cut the feed to the Chinese people halfway through the match. Because they realized that an artificial intelligence was about to beat one of their brightest minds. So they're investing all of their money and pivoting their whole economy into robotics and artificial intelligence. They said by 2030, they are going to be the world leader with the goal of crushing the United States. This is happening. It's called Made in China 2025. Right now, they're giving tax cuts and tax breaks to employers that fire people and replace them with robots. This is a big deal. As big of a deal as it was back in 1940. And many of us in the United States are not talking about this. Not at all. So what now? I threw a whole bunch of stuff at you, and I can tell you what we've been doing for the last 3 years. We started with the Fortress of York. It's what Frank was talking about. It's where we had the Rise of the Rest event. And many people maybe heard some things, maybe heard nothing. They thought, great, so you guys are going to teach computer programming, maybe iPhone apps, web development. The reality is we need computer programmers, but our real opportunity in York is these guys. You know what we do here? We make things, and we know how to use machines. That's what we're good at. We don't need a generation of people making Angry Birds. We need a generation that's going to pick up our legacy here and build the kinds of machines that are going to change the world. So that's what we did. We became a licensed higher education institution. And the reality is, our goal isn't to just train computer programmers. We want to train robot mechanics. We want to take regular people, in a matter of weeks and months, not years, teach them how to integrate, assemble, repair, deploy this kind of technology. At the end, you're going to see how easy it is to do this and to get into this field. This is the very beginning of this technology. And this is something we can not only use, but we can do here. But the reality is the challenge is way bigger than just this one building, right? This building was a starting point. The problem is so large that our response needs to match the size of the challenge. And that is why we are doing the York Plan 2.0 Innovation District. Ourselves, partnered with Frank and Murphy and Dittenhafer, as well as Joe Wagman and Wagman Construction, and Innovation Village out of Baltimore. They're the guys that were spearheading the 80-acre Johns Hopkins Innovation District behind the hospital. They're also spearheading a 1,200-acre innovation district in downtown Baltimore. This is our opportunity to show the world what we're made of and embrace the future. This is going to be a 240,000 square foot innovation campus, all around our manufacturing heritage and embracing collaborative robotics. Humans and robots working together. Robots not taking jobs, robots creating jobs, saving industry. That's the opportunity that we have right now. This is going to be an incredible challenge, but I can tell you what, I've lived here for 15 years, and when the York community believes in something, I've seen you guys come together, I've seen us come together so fast to achieve the impossible in a short period of time. That seems to be our legacy, is seeing a challenge that seems greater than any one of us can do, but coming together as a community and making it happen. Because the truth is this, we're running out of time. We're almost out of time. Now, some of the stuff I was talking about may seem far away still. I'm going to show you what's happened over the last 2 years. The first video you're going to see is a video from the DARPA Robotics Challenge, and I was there 2 years ago. These were the world's best robots. Multi-million-dollar machines created by the world's best minds in robotics with all of the most advanced technology. And this is what they were doing. Now this was 12 months later. This is the Atlas learning how to walk on snow and ice out in the woods. This is him learning how to work in a warehouse. And this is him 6 weeks ago. This is 24 months of technology. 24 months ago, the robots couldn't walk across flat ground. Now they're doing backflips. Where do we think the technology is going to be in 5 years? Heck, forget 5 years, 24 months. Technology is moving at a breakneck pace. And it's not going to slow down, it's going to speed up. Things are getting easier and faster and better. Whether we want the future or not, it's coming to meet us. And it's coming very fast. As I said, the last time the world changed this much this fast, it was us. It was York, Pennsylvania that stepped up to lead the way. Right? The only mention of it in York, Pennsylvania right now is this mural in a McDonald's parking lot. That's the only reminder to the world that we saved it. That's it. Now we can look at this and we can say this is our past, or we can look at it and say this is our future. Right? Because the difference between history and legacy is pretty clear. Right? History is something you look back upon, but legacy is something you live up to. Now, I'm going to flip the tables a little bit. At the beginning, you had the guests stand up. If you are a member of Rotary, I'm going to ask you to stand because I'm going to address you specifically. Do you remember when I said the last time the world changed this much this fast, it was York that did this, and the whole nation adopted the plan? Do you know how the nation adopted the plan? Does this look familiar? It's the Yorktown Hotel. Do you know how it spread? Through Rotaries. Through this Rotary. The Rotary that I'm talking to right now, the seats that you're sitting in, the generation previously was the one that spearheaded the York plan. world is changing, and it's changing again. And it needs you. I'm going to be honest. Communities, I travel all across the United States. Communities are asleep at the wheel. And they're going to be hit by this technology the same way we were hit by a world war. But York was ready. So I'm going to leave you with this challenge. The same way that Bill Shipley, when he stood in Continental Square, this is what he said when it was broadcast on the radio to the whole world. Give us the tools so that we can finish the job. So that regardless of the outcome, we'll know that we gave our all and have no regrets. So I'm going to leave you with this challenge. Bring the community together so that we can give it our all. So regardless of what happens with robotics, technology, artificial intelligence, we'll know that we gave our best for our community, our businesses, and our children, so that we will have no regrets. Thank you for the honor of addressing you. It's been a long time that I've been hoping to do this. There's been a lot of pieces coming together. The reality is the largest piece missing is you. You were critical in the first York plan, and you're going to be critical in York Plan 2.0. So thank you for the honor of allowing me to address you. God bless Rotary. God bless York, Pennsylvania. God bless America. Thank you.